Welcome back to Flow FM, and we're chatting with Reanna Freeman from the Western Eyre Netball Association, Vice President and the coach of the Hawks A grade. Reanna, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much for having me. It's good to be back.
Glad to hear. And the association kicks off this weekend. We're starting off the first game, Wirrala taking on the Western United Tigers.
Absolutely. So this goes Wirrala. They were the A-grade premiers last year in the 2022 season and runners-up in the 21 season. So coming off two really good years. And they'll come up against Westies who, unfortunately last year, I believe, were without a win for the whole season. Both sides looking quite different this year. Wirrala, they are coached by the one and only Cindy Best. She has been a veteran in that club and before that for Woodner. So I think she'll have these girls well trained, outstanding and looking good. Hayley Webb will be back in the team for Wirrala, which is a massive in. She's a previous A-grade player, did her Achilles a couple of years ago and just built back up in the B grade last year. Jazz Billing, last year's runner-up association best and fairest, back in the team, looking really good. They've got a couple of new players, Tara Ackland and Chelsea Webster. I don't know much about these girls, so looking forward to checking them out when we play them. Cindy and Sarah out of the A grade this year, two absolute veterans of the game, but retired to B grade. So Wirrala's team looking a little bit different, but still some absolute quality players throughout with Emma Willis and Sophie Kellett. And then if we go on to Westies, so as I said, they didn't actually get a win in last year's season, but they did work really hard. They've got a new coach, Jade Norwood, who knows her stuff with netball. She's very disciplined, and I believe she's got these girls out running the track from very early in February, so they're fired up and ready to go. Chloe Ettridge will also be helping her with the coaching. Chloe was a quality A-grader a couple of years ago, had a baby and just eased her way back into it last year playing C grade and was their best and fairest. So she's back in their A-grade lineup. That is a massive in for Westies. They've got a bit of a different lineup this year. Lara Durrani and Heidi from last year, but then Chloe back into the team. Java Shippard, she's a goalie, plays a bit through the middle. She's been away at school and she's back. So a bit of a new lineup. I know these girls are out and keen, really keen to be more competitive this season, reduce some margins and just really put their best foot forward. I think Wirrala would go in favourites, but I'm really excited to see Westies grow and develop this year.
And your West Coast Hawks taking on Thevenard in your first game. Tell us how your off-season's gone, how your Hawks are shaping up, and also about your opponent.
Yeah, so Hawks come off a disappointing loss in the grand final last year against Wirrala. So definitely disappointed with how we finished the season, but that was last year. We're concentrating on this year. A few big outs for Hawks. Chloe Evans, who I spoke about a lot last year, she's gone away to school. We're wishing her all the best. McKenna Reedy and Nadi Beard have both moved away, and Tegan Joyce is pregnant. So that is four massive outs for the Hawks, but it does give room for a few of our quality B graders to come up and put their best foot forward. Really excited to see what Summer Braz can bring to the team this year. She's a young B grader who's sort of been on the verge of A grade for a few years, so really excited to see what she can bring. Alana Beard, our captain for the last couple of years, back at her best in defence. We haven't had a huge pre-season. We're a bit slow to start. We have a lot of summer sport and whatnot in Streaky, so we just like to give all players a bit of a break. But I think we might be a bit slow to start, but we will shape up to be quite competitive with the rest of the side. And then we come up against Stevie. Again, I think across the board, most teams have had a bit of a mix-up with their players this year. They've got Courtney Trowbridge, who is coaching them this year. She's both a fabulous player and has a very good netball head on her. And again, I believe she'll have these girls ready to go, fired up, bit of a new team and trying to find their feet. Cassie and Courtney will play in goals together. Back in defence, we've got Lindsay Denton, who had a year in B grade and absolutely dominated, so it'll be good to see her up in the A grade this year. Tracy Miller is a huge in for them. She didn't play last year. Previously, she's played for Kaniba, so great pick-up for Sevi there. I think that these girls will come out really strong. I actually was having a look at a few stats before you rang, and I believe last year Sevi beat Hawks in all three minor rounds, so you would have to think that they would come out firing and trying to repeat the same thing. I am the coach of the Hawks, so I'm hoping that Hawks come away with a win, but either way, I think this will be a really good game.
Sounds like it should be a cracker. And just the two games in the A grade this weekend, Ceduna Blues with the bye, but the Blues are playing in the B grade against Canibba. So no A grade team for Canibba. Do you want to tell us a little bit about why they're not represented in the A grade this year?
Yeah, so Canibba Netball Club had a great year last year and are looking again to do the same this year. They are filling most other teams, so they have got a B, C, D, I believe not an E grade, but they do have all juniors. So they're just sort of rebuilding, had a few losses with players, pregnancies, people moving away and that sort of thing. And just to keep the competition nice and strong and competitive, they've chosen not to put in an A grade, and the association 100% supports them with that. So Canibba are doing their best to rebuild and get an A grade back on the court in the next few years. But until then, we'll support them not having one. But Blues will get a bye, and I'll give you a good preview of what they're looking like next week. But I'm excited to see that Teresa Woods has picked up coaching again for the Blues. She coached them a couple of years ago, and I think they have an exciting year ahead.
Yes, we'll chat about the Blues next week ahead of their first game. And you mentioned that we've got a B, a C, a D and an E grade competition here. So all 6 teams represented through B, C and D grade. Canibba, the only team not represented in the A grade. And then we've got 4 teams in an E grade as well. Very exciting to have 5 grades across this competition. So can you talk to us a little bit about the depth of the competition?
Absolutely. So being only a new association, this is our 3rd year as the Western Eyre Association, to be not only moving forward with a successful association but introducing a 5th senior grade, I think is outstanding and such a credit to all 6 clubs involved within the association to keep players around, keep moving forward and keeping everyone keen to hit the courts on a Saturday. We've got good representation across all grades. There's a couple of clubs that struggle a little bit with juniors just purely because there's a bit of a gap in their age range and because a little bit more of a remote team. I know Wirrallah don't have a junior C and a subbies, but looking forward to their future numbers, they definitely will have one. I think competition across the board will be really strong in the A grade. I haven't seen a lot of numbers in the lower grades, but if it's the last few years are anything to go by, I think it will be an absolute cracking season, and I'm really excited to see what this season brings.
Netball is back. It's very exciting, and good luck to you this weekend, Reanna, and good luck to all teams playing this weekend and throughout this season. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to catching up with you again next week.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me, and good luck to all teams this weekend.